What is going on, YouTube? It is your girl Red Bull here. I hope everybody's having a wonderful morning. I don't have a long time. I have to go to a medical procedure today, but this is very important. Before I get to the story, I kind of want to give you guys a background. What is going on is sick. Uh, Latinos, they make up 18% of the population of the United States. Our roots have extended as far back before the nation's founding. We have fought in every American war. Our food, our language, and our culture have shaped every aspect of American life going back centuries. And yet, the headlines in our largest papers in the cable news uh, have downplayed a lot of crimes that have been happening towards our Latino community. Um, Maybe you all do know, or maybe you all remember or don't remember the attack in El Paso that left 22 dead. It was in the Walmart. Most of them were Hispanic. There's been, it's at the Walmart, and it was barely talked about. Um, this is very personal to me, the story that I'm going to tell, because this is the area that I have grown up. I'm originally from California, moved to Georgia, lived in this specific area. Like, this is where I used to run the streets when I was younger. Moved back to California. Um, the crimes against Latinos are never really talked about. I don't know why that is. There's so many cases that just go unnoticed, unseen, and it's not fair. And in this certain area I'm about to talk about, there's something going on, and it has the community shook, which it should be, because there is never any breaking news or headlines that talk about this situation. And this is definitely in the certain story case I'm going to go over it. Hey, Barbara, how are you? Uh, it has to do with younger um, teens or people in their 20s in the same area. uh, Hold on one second. So, um, 5 Gwinnett teens dead from overdoses and shootings in just weeks. This is in Gwinnett County. Gwinnett County, Lawrenceville specifically, is a place where there are plenty of gangs, plenty of drugs, corrupt police. Um, Ran into them several times. I mean, when I was younger, they even took a picture of me and put me under their little gang watch. And we have been through so much, which is a whole nother story with these police. So I want to just go over a couple of the stories and then talk more about what is going on and what needs to happen. So a 16-year-old boy found dead in the backyard of a Lawrenceville home is the 5th Gwinnett County teen to be found dead in just weeks. Gwinnett police identified the victim Thursday night as Jose Daniel Martinez. The teen was reported missing by his family on Wednesday morning. Police said the home on Patton Mill Trail, where he was found dead, is unoccupied. Homicide detectives canvassed the area and were able to develop leads that led to the arrest of Dennis Calzadilla, 20, of Lilburn, in connection to Martinez's death. Martinez is the fifth Hispanic Gwinnett County teen to be found dead in just a matter of weeks. The skeletal remains of missing 16-year-old Susana Morales was found in February. And this is one of my sister-in-law's friends. This is who I asked Arctic to cover. Um, Hold on one second. Um, she was reported missing in July, and she was found in February. That's 8 months after she vanished. She was walking home, and police arrested a former Doraville police officer in her death, who we have been harassed by many times. Doraville, Lawrenceville, DeKalb, even Cobb County. Corrupt, just corrupt. There are a lot of corrupt police. On February 9th, 17-year-old Rodrigo Floriano was found dead in an abandoned home in Tucker. His death is thought to be from an overdose, which I don't believe. On February 14th, a 13-year-old boy was shot and killed in front of his father outside the family's home in Norcross. And the victim was Jaden Travis. The father told Channel 2 Action News that his son had problems with another teen for the last few months, and that's when a group of teens showed up outside the house. Travis ran outside with a BB gun, but the killer had a real gun. He said, and I quote, "When I saw him running, I came out the house running. By the time I got in the middle of the street, pop, 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 my son went down and said, 'Dad, I am shot.'" On February 24th, 17-year-old Julia Zarangua died. Her sister said in a GoFundMe set up to help her with funeral expenses that she was taken from us. Channel 2 Action News has reached out for more information on her death. A 16-year-old girl who has not yet been identified also died from a fentanyl overdose after she bought what she thought was a Percocet. It's unclear when she died, but 2 people were arrested in her death this week. Channel 2's Taisha Fernandez was in Gwinnett County Thursday, where Martinez is one of several Hispanic teens killed in Gwinnett County just in the last month. A group plans to meet next Thursday night to address concerns in the community about teens' safety. Police said false information is being spread on social media, and they want to clear things up face to face. Oh, of course you guys do. Tanya Zarate is a co-founder of the Hispanic United Alliance in Gwinnett County. She said it's been one tragedy after another in her community over the last 4 weeks. Everybody is frustrated and angry and upset. Every day it seems like another death. So we ask for prayer in our community because we need it. Zarate said many Hispanic families are frustrated because there's a language barrier and lack of trust with police, which there should be. Police are hosting a town hall at a Hispanic church next week to give families an opportunity to ask questions directly to Spanish-speaking officers. Although police can't answer specific questions about ongoing cases, they can clear up some confusion and hopefully build trust. Anyone with information is urged to contact Gwinnett Police. There was also this is really hard, you guys. Just like I can't. I've never really. I know that police are corrupt, and I've been known this, but for my people to walk around and this isn't shown everywhere. Like, we see all these big cases getting getting on the front news, getting everybody like going over their cases, and it spreads like a wildfire. But when it comes to these kind of cases, and if it's not, just say that there are, okay, it's an overdose or whatever. Um, Something still needs to be done. In this certain area, it is filled with gangs, and that is why I also I want to bring more awareness to these gangs. Um, there was another, um, hold on. Okay, so there is another shooting that happens. A Hispanic male. He hasn't been identified yet. He was shot also and left behind a backyard in Lawrenceville. Oh wow! See, I didn't even see this one. Hold on one second. Hey, Mama Bear, how are you? There are a lot of crooked police, and Mama Bear, as you know, this area specifically is filled with gangs, and it's just not a good area. Like I said, I grew up here. I've seen the corruption that police do. My sister-in-law, her friend that was killed by the doorbell police officer, um, you know, she was getting into the whole gang scene, kind of, not totally in it. But if there was awareness brought to gangs, and the if parents knew what to look for and the signs that your child is getting into this stuff, then we could save many lives. She trusted a cop and got in his car, and she ended up dead. um, I do too. I think they are breeded to be corrupt. And hold on. I'm just I'm gonna play something real quick. Hold on. Let me share my screen because I'm outraged. All these other cases get all this coverage, and it seems like everything else is above. Even when the whole Black Lives Matter thing was happening, his Latinos and blacks were actually fighting. Like there was so many Hispanics being targeted. Our paleta stations where we sell ice creams or Mexican corn or just tacos, they were being beat up and robbed. Um, and these people come from Mexico. Some people are bad. They come here to traffic, to sell drugs, and it's not okay. But there are a lot of Hispanics that come here to want a better life for their family, to work hard, and they don't hurt anybody. And people, these people going to their little stands on the corner, beating them up, robbing them. There was a article uh, that says evidence of a growing divide between blacks and Hispanics is mounting. One after another, the reports have rolled in from Florida to California, Nevada to New Jersey, even as far away as the state of Washington. The news is getting harder to ignore. That's trouble between blacks and browns. At Hugh High School in Reno, Nevada, an emergency task force began work October after a series of fights between the black and Hispanic students that interim Schools Superintendent Paul Dugan said reflected definite racial tensions. In Monroe, Washington, similar tensions shot up after a Mexican flag was torn down and thrown into a bathroom, and several off campus fights broke out. In Chicago, 7 students were arrested after an interracial brawl in January left teachers and security guards injured, and parents complaining of mounting racial strife. But it was in schools in California. There were so many of the nation's trends first take shape, and that this disturbing conflict was most obvious. On November 8th, hundreds of Black and Latino students got into 2 separate battles in the streets. And this was around Wilmer Amina Carter High School. 2 days later, another interracial fight broke out on campus, and 4 days after that, a huge battle erupted in the lunchroom, leaving 57 of the 100 of students involved injured. At the same time, more than 20 police officers broke up a series of street fights between Black and Latino students outside Fremont High School in Oakland. There was over 150 participants that were involved and bystanders. In San Juancito, a riot at the high school between Black and Hispanic students resulted in 3 arrests, 6 suspensions, and the lockdown of 1,700 students. Some 500 students were involved in the fight, and police reported some arriving parents added fuel to the fire by shouting racial slurs and urging their children to keep up the battle. Traditionally, Black and brown activists have seen themselves in a natural alliance in a country historically dominated by whites, an alliance of mostly poorer, darker-skinned minorities whose struggles are not dissimilar. But like the civil rights era, alliance between Blacks and Jews, the Black-Brown coalition have grown more and more strained. Many Blacks resent what is seen as Hispanic leapfrogging them up in the socioeconomic ladder. And some complain of the skin color prejudice that are particularly strong in some Hispanic countries, notably Mexico. Just this May, the Reverend Al Sharpton bitterly demanded that Vicente Fox apologize after a Mexican president made what some Blacks interpreted as a racist comment. Similarly, many Hispanics say they are treated in racist ways by Blacks, some of who apparently singled out undocumented immigrants for robbery or worse. And those are the taco stands. This poor lady, she was in her, I think, 50s or 60s. She was out there selling her corn, selling her paletas, and these grown men beat her nearly to death to just rob her little stand. The stand that she goes out and sells these things every day and makes the little amount of money that she does to pay her bills, to take care of her children or grandchildren, because she's older, her children, whatever it is. Grown men beat this lady almost to death. The conflict is growing as mainly Hispanic immigrants, legal and illegal, pour into neighborhoods that were in many cases previously dominated by Blacks. Many Blacks say Hispanics generally will not hire Blacks in their business, even though many cater to Black customers. Many Hispanics say they are being targeted for robbery by Blacks who pick on undocumented workers, a group far less likely to report crimes to police. Both groups worry about the implications of Blacks' 2002 displacement as the largest minority in America for the first time in history. The elephant reappeared in the halls of Jefferson High School in South Los Angeles. This April 14th, a minor spat exploded into a lunchtime involving about 50 Latino and 50 Black students. 4 days later, police were sent in for a second time, this time to quell a battle involving some 200 students. 2 students were arrested, 4 detained, 6 hurt, 1 broke a hip. Officials changed school schedule to keep the factions more separated. Metal detectors were installed. A Nation of Islam official offered protection to Black students. Mayor hold on. Antonio, wait, where was I? Hold on. Antonio Villagrasa even addressed a forum call to discuss the strife, begging parents to model for these young people black and brown unity. It didn't happen. Less than a week later, a violent Hispanic gang would be exacting retribution from black students the next day, coursed through the school district. In the end, an astonishing 51,000 students stayed home. Tensions between blacks and Latinos are certainly not new. They have surfaced in major ways in Miami, where a relatively wealthy class of Cuban exiles has won far more political power than the black cities, in Houston, where blacks and Latinos have often been on opposite sides of political races. While the recent school conflicts have brought the issue to the fore, some writers have been trying to point it out for years. Um, hold on. So last summer in New Jersey, the New York Times reported that at least 17 Hispanic men were severely beaten by young black men, and in one case, killed. Some black leaders said they believed the attacks were about money, not bias, and there were no consensus among police as to the motive. But the violence of the attack seemed excessive, even when money was taken, a classic hallmark of a hate crime rather than simple robbery. To hit someone with a baseball bat, you have to hate someone. To beat a guy for a few dollars never made a lot of sense to me. It looked to me like a bias incident. Unfortunately, available hate crime statistics are not much help in trying to gauge conflict between blacks and Hispanics. While national figures show around 100 black on Hispanic hate crimes for each of several recent years, there is virtually no doubt that the number vastly understates the violence. Moreover, the FBI has no similar statistics that would cast light on Hispanic violence against blacks. The most that can be said is that these types of hate crimes seem to be rising. Last September, a series of attacks broke out in the streets of Jacksonville, Florida. Again, it was hard to say definitely if robbery or hate was the main motivation for these crimes. What was clear was that at least 28 different assaults, the perpetrators were black and the 68 victims Hispanic. 2 people were murdered while another 8 people were shot but survived their wounds. The Hispanic community, about 8% of Jacksonville's population, was outraged. The local Spanish language paper demanded an investigation. A press conference was held, and rumors of Hispanic retribution ran rampant. A man named Nicholas is one of the victims. Last fall, Nicholas and his father were robbed by a black man with a gun who walked into a family restaurant they were preparing to open. Nicholas says he's not a racist, but the steady stream of young black men who walk through his parking lot on their way to and from local low-income housing has him concerned. And after the attack on him, once he got past his depression, he bought a handgun. He, and I quote, says, "There are good morenos," which is blacks, but there are also some that live off the government welfare or disability without working, he says. The vast majority of morenos are hard workers, but the rest of them want to live for free. And I disagree with that. I believe in every single race that there are people that need that help. And then there are people that just take advantage. That's in every single race. See, that's the problem. And we all need to be sticking together. We don't need to be fighting each other. If we stuck together, imagine what kind of change we can make. And instead of saying like, oh, Latinos don't pay taxes, they're illegal, they're ignorant, they'll stab you, like, or blacks are using the welfare system to just, they're taking advantage of it. And, sticking together is what needs to be done. Our and I bet none of you guys have heard about any of this, and this should be talked about. Um, the whole Black Lives Matter, when that was going on, because uh, George Floyd, like the whole world was going crazy, and when Gabriel Fernandez um, was murdered by his mom and the boyfriend, and at that time, there was another Hispanic boy that was killed. I didn't see the outrage. I didn't see everybody coming together and demanding a change. And there were comments made, oh, so where are the Hispanic people? Like, we need to come together. And that needs to be from both sides. We need to start being noticed. We need to start making these headlines. Just like in Gwinnett County, what's going on? It's not going to be big news. It's just going to be ignored, and Hispanic teens are going to keep dying. They're going to keep dying, and it's just going to, go away. It's going to be forgot about. Let me play this video real quick. Hey, Six Sense. Yay, no more phone calls. Let me play this. Hold on. If I can find it, where was I? It's just, you guys, everybody needs to stay together. And that the whole Walmart situation that happened, it wasn't being talked about like all these other cases. Where's the blow up for all of these? Where's the blow up? Where's the being talked about? Where is the news coverage? Where are these creators talking about these crimes that are being hold on. Where did it go? Hold on. We don't know.
In the woods are hers. Police say a passerby made the gruesome find at Highway 316 and Drowning Creek Road, not far from the Barrow County line.
Fox 5's Christopher King joins us live tonight with the latest on the investigation. Christopher.
Christine, Russ, this discovery confirms a family's worst nightmare, and police call this case a top priority.
Those remains do belong to Susana Morales.
A grim revelation.
They did determine that there were some human bones in the area.
Gwinnett County Police confirm they found the remains of Susana Morales near Highway 316 and Drowning Creek Road, close to the Barrow County line. Investigators say they used dental records to identify her remains. Susana was just 16.
It does look like she has been there for some period of time.
The teen's family reported her missing last July. Investigators say Susana texted her mom as she was walking home the night of July 26th. Her phone last pinged near Oak Lock Trace and Steve Reynolds Boulevard.
We are really asking for the public's help here.
That wasn't it, but hold on. What is Hold on. And hold on. Is this it? Yeah.
Three.
Yeah. Count to 10. I'm sorry. Yeah. Okay.
Wait, do you really want me to count to 10?
Yeah, sure. Just
Okay,
naturally.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
We're good? Okay. I think we have you guys good to go. All right. Well, thanks again for hanging out with us. Yeah, is that so behind you? Is that like your all's studio? To San Antonio, what he did for a San Antonio native
Hold on.
podcast. So make sure to hit us with that like, rate, and subscribe on all of our platforms.
We'll tell you why he's there. But
All right. But first, yes, very horrific story, international story this morning out of Thailand today, where at least 30 of the
investigations included Elizondo, so included this officer who has just been hired.
From their apartment in Brownsville and are now in Target stores across the country. Very cool.
This isn't it. I don't know where it is. But, everybody needs to stick together. Everybody was like, where's the Hispanics in the whole Black Lives Matter thing? There was a lot of Hispanics, backing them up. But I don't see the outrage when something happens to Hispanic people. I definitely think that things need to change. There should be protests over these innocent teens, these young people that are getting murdered, especially by police. It's only certain people that get this coverage or get these protests. And, I don't think there should be a whole chaos and people just destroying the country. But if it's going to happen, where is the protest? Especially where's the protest for our children? To make a change, we need to stick together. And hold on. And there needs to be more awareness brought to these gangs, like I said. Sorry. Oh, and this one, I'm not even gonna bring that up. And you know how many times that ICE has arrested and mistakenly detained innocent people because they think that they're just illegal? Where's the movement for this kind of situation? Where is all of this for our children? I just don't get it. Nothing is being seen in the news about what's going on in Gwinnett, and especially in other places. None of this is being talked about. And we all need to stick together. There shouldn't be just one certain race that we... hold on. Okay, let me play this one. I think I found it. Don't fall asleep on me.
We are part of Portland. We're proud of who we are. We are part of Portland, and we're here for good.
Families filled Cully Park Saturday for the 5th annual Festival Latino. But a shadow of sorts hangs over the festival after 22 people were killed in El Paso, Texas last Saturday, where the gunman admitted he was targeting people of Mexican descent.
I think it's important to recognize that there's a fear that we carry, but the way to combat that is to come together as a community. This event is one of those ways, in a very, maybe small way, but we're highlighting what makes our community so great.
The event draws performances, activities, and something that can bring us all together.
See, it shouldn't be a small thing. It should be a big thing. And it should be where everybody comes together. There needs to be a change before this thing in Gwinnett County just keeps going and gets bigger and bigger.
Food. And that's what Fernanda Lay does every day in Southeast Portland, sharing her Brazilian culture through flavor at her food truck, Poppy's Pastries.
I feel, especially being here, we're very supportive of the community, the Hispanic community.
She owns one of the 9 food carts at Portland Mercado, a multicultural hub serving diverse Latin American flavors.
We have all kinds of cultures here. People, they come here knowing that they're going to experience something from either South America, Central America.
Lay says rhetoric that can divide people and events across the country has forced her to have tough conversations with her own children.
Targeting, people because of their color or their country of origin. It makes no sense to me. Because it's something they're punishing you, for something that is completely out of your control. It's where you come from, it's what you look like. And you shouldn't be afraid to be what you are.
It's a very scary time,
Anthony Benegas owns El Coqui, serving dishes from Puerto Rico, where he grew up.
To see that and to be targeted, especially for no reason, just because.
And there was nothing being done. Nothing being done about this, except maybe a protest here and there, and nobody speaks about it anymore. And now this whole thing going on in Gwinnett County. How many more teens need to die before there gets some kind of coverage? There was only one article on this, and that was 5-6 Hispanic people dying in 1 month in the same area. One was by a police officer. One was overdose, or 2 was overdose. The others were shootings. There needs to be a change, and everybody needs to come together. Latinos are most are giving and kind and loving and will help anyone. I believe that makes a big target. Most also don't understand the ones build houses works. Exactly. It's in our culture, it's what we do. Hispanic families, especially, they come together. They stick together. They have your back. They're, we lived with my mother-in-law, and it was a family altogether of 12. And it's just what Hispanics do. My mother-in-law, and my brother-in-laws, 2 of them are in their later 20s, and they live with my mother-in-law. We just stick together. We do have that, we want everybody to just be happy, and we like enjoy just everything about our culture, the food, the dress, the music, everything. And they do become targets, and it's never talked about. I think everybody needs to come together, no matter what race you're in. When the whole Black Lives Matter thing was going on, the only thing in my mind was, where is all of this for our children that are dying, and our Hispanic community that is going on, because there was more crimes being done at that time. My stepson is part Latino, so yes, I know. And yeah, and like I said, it's not in every race. There's bad and there's good. There's evil and there's non-evil. Not anyone in any race. There's not going to be just one race wholly perfect. In every single race, there's some certain amount of people that are bad. It doesn't matter what race. This needs to be talked about. This should be a bigger headline than this little. Just let me show you. This is the only article that I found, and I still go look through the Georgia news because my family lives there. Wait, no. And like I said, this is Hispanic residents changed. Where is it? This is the only thing that was shown, the only article that I have found so far. And this is the protest. Look how many people at this protest. Why? And you see how we're not, going around burning things, doing all of this, and there's no need for any of that. But coming together and doing a demonstration, a protest that is not going to be harmful in any way, that can do a lot too. It takes everybody to make a change. I am just so... This is just going to be thrown under the rug. Nobody's going to be talking about this. I have not seen one creator talk about Susanna. One creator, except Arctic. I sent him the article. He put a video out, and that's it. The protesters marched because they say missing Hispanic kids, teens, and young adults are not prioritized, and language barriers often cause miscommunication. It's true. You know how many missing people in Georgia there are? Missing kids, missing teens, missing adults. You know how many there are in California, especially in the area where I am. One person said it's not about the cop, it's about the system. Information given to the parent, maybe to educate us, also as far as quickly to report a missing child, what to look for. It's not just speaking, but actually doing it. And I say that all the time in these cases, especially Kyron's case. Every single day, I remind people, you have to be active. You can't just sit here and talk about it. What I'm doing now is sitting here and talking about it. What change is that going to make? All I'm doing is ranting and trying to get these stories out, but it's not going to make a difference. But now if I get out there and start doing something, maybe others will follow. It takes more than one person, though. I mean, these people just came out and this protest, that's how many people showed up. Look, even not all are a runaway. Look, this is in Doraville Police Station. It's very small, very small. They have to, when you go to jail in Doraville, they have to transfer you to DeKalb County, which is the bigger jail. So this isn't, this, And it's all Hispanics in that area, all Hispanic. That's not a lot of people. So where was everybody when this took place? Where? I would really like to know. Hold on. We need to do better. We need to stick together. What gets me is the ones who are racist against their own. Exactly. There are so many crimes, even Hispanics, even, Latinos. We have so many gangs that do brown on brown crime, that, there's black on black crime, there's white on white crime. In every single race, there's a racist person against their own. And then they want to come out and say, talk about this other race, but your race is going around killing. There needs to be a change, and we all need to unite, and show people. It needs to be us against the system, not against each other. If we all came together and we talked about these cases, which I am going to go into them more. I do have to get off of here. I have to go get a colonoscopy today. I have a lot going on with my health. Latinos feed everyone. We do. Every time there's a party, every time, even if it's not, my kids' friends come over. I'm always feeding, cooking. It's just in our culture. It's in our hearts. And we deserve to get the attention just as much as everybody else. This is not the end of it. These people, and I wish I was back in the area, because I would go out there. And that's where I grew up. Where they were standing outside of the Doraville police station, that's where I grew up. There needs to be more coverage on this. And there won't be. But I'm going to keep talking about it. Maybe bigger creators will come out, but they might not, because they're going to say, oh, well, this isn't, going to make any views or money, or it's not about that. It's not about that. It is about these people, my Hispanic, my Latino people need the same coverage as everybody else. This could turn into, it's already big. Imagine how many more are going to die. And I have recently asked Damaged Good with No Regrets and her husband, White Boy Lockdown Radio, to come on panel so we could talk about gangs, drugs, prison, because I want to bring more awareness to the gangs and teach parents the signs and even the dangers of drugs. And there needs to be more. And they did say, okay, so we have that coming up. That's exciting, really exciting. I will go over the cases one by one, but you guys, there's something going on in this area. If you are in that area, I will post where they are protesting, and hopefully you guys can go join them, go make a difference. We all need to come together. There is not one race over a different race that deserves more coverage or less coverage, or we all deserve the same. These kids are dying, one by a cop. One by a cop. The rest, they're gonna say, oh yeah, drug overdose. And why do you think that? Because they want to sweep it under the rug. The fact of the matter is, I used to be one of those people that were like, oh, they're doing too much, which burning the country down and all that stuff is not going to help. They were doing a lot. And I used to say that it is that all lives matter. Like, I was just into that. But thinking about it for months now, I'm like, to people, it's not all lives matter. We know that all lives matter, but it's obviously not. And there is a problem. There is a problem. That problem needs to be fixed and fast. But I'm gonna get off of here. I gotta go get my hysterectomy. I already got a hysterectomy. My colonoscopy. Thank you guys for joining. 6 Cents. I love you. I'm gonna come back later, and I'm gonna go through each of these cases one by one. So just give me a little bit. That's how it depends how I'm gonna feel after my procedure. I'm that bitch mama bear. Thank you for coming as well, Barbara. Thank you guys. Please give the video a like. Please share. Maybe more creators will see these cases that I was talking about and look them up and do a show. They deserve it. These victims deserve to get the coverage as everybody else. My community is scared. They are scared. And, if I was there, I would be too, because I know the area and I know what goes on. And there needs to be a change. That's all I'm saying. So, I love you guys. Thank you so much for being here. I have a lot to talk about as what you guys know me. I just have to vent. I have to vent. I have to rant on. Some of it might not make sense to you guys. It makes sense to me. I know what I'm talking about in my head. I am so mad about another situation that you guys saw myself and Reloaded talk about. And the person did what I knew they were going to do. So I'm going to talk about that later as well. I love you guys. Pray for me. I've never had a camera stuck up my ass. It's not going to be comfortable. Yeah. Love you guys. I will see y'all later.